First and foremost, it is important to realize that nutrition is an integral part of our existence. One of the main components is the consumption of protein. It is necessary to consume protein in sufficient quantities without any restrictions. The main sources of protein are various types of poultry and fish, while other products are not significant. It is recommended to consume 1.2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per day, with about 60% of this protein being of animal origin. Naturally, the digestion of protein requires a significant amount of energy, so protein-rich foods should be consumed with pasta or bread. Creatinine is produced in the body as a result of muscle work, so if the patient maintains muscle mass and leads an active lifestyle, a higher level of creatinine should be effectively removed through hemodialysis. Vegetables and fruits are important sources of vitamin C. Patients generally do not experience a deficiency of this vitamin, as it is present in all vegetables and fruits. Vegetables and fruits also diversify the taste and promote intestinal motility, so completely abstaining from them is not recommended. However, the main danger is associated with uncontrolled consumption of fruits and berries, as it can lead to a sharp increase in potassium levels in the blood, which is an extremely dangerous condition. Therefore, it is necessary to limit potassium intake to 2 grams per day. Vegetables, including potatoes, should be peeled, cut into small pieces, and soaked in water for 2 to 3 hours. Then they should be boiled in a large amount of water, and after cooking, the water should be drained. Raw fruits should also be peeled as the peel contains a lot of potassium. Foods high in potassium include nuts, dried fruits, bananas, apricots, mushrooms, greens, fruit juices, condensed milk, legumes, potatoes, coffee, beer, wine, cocoa, and chocolate. Dry weight is the optimal weight of the patient at which edema and hypertension are absent, and the use of antihypertensive drugs is not required. During the patient's hemodialysis treatment, the doctor determined the dry weight for a given period of time. During hemodialysis, excess fluid is removed by approximately 2.5 liters. When weighing the patient, an increase in weight of 0.5 liters was observed. It is necessary to immediately investigate the causes, whether it is a coincidence or there is a problem with appetite. On the other hand, if an unusual weight gain of 4.5 liters is detected during weighing, the possible cause may be excessive food consumption, for example, due to excellent pilaf or homemade dumplings. However, a more serious problem would be if the patient drank a lot of water. Often, the problem lies in excessive salt intake, which leads to thirst and excessive drinking. Salt intake should be limited to 5 grams per day, and in case of predisposition to high blood pressure, it should be limited to 3 grams. It is important to remember that weight gain should not exceed 3 to 4% of the patient's dry weight. The patient should adapt fluid intake according to diuresis and get used to sodium intake restrictions. Clear signs of a good appetite in a patient are a weight gain of at least 3% of the dry weight without feeling thirsty. Sometimes, the patient may wake up at night feeling hungry and eat something. However, it should be noted that feeling hungry during or after dialysis is the downside of this procedure. Unfortunately, hemodialysis has several negative effects. Apart from removing waste through the membrane, amino acids and peptides, the main building blocks for the body's protein synthesis, are lost. The only possible way to compensate for these effects is through good nutrition. This is why a dialysis patient needs to eat better than a healthy person. Under no circumstances should dialysis be performed on an empty stomach. The patient must eat before the procedure. Appetite, like love, cannot be commanded. Dietary restrictions for a dialysis patient should not be burdensome. The patient can eat normally and even better, but from time to time, it is advisable to limit the consumption of salty foods. Salt consumption should not exceed 5 grams per day, and moderation is key when consuming high phosphorus foods such as cheese, cottage cheese, and legumes, since phosphorus is already present in excess in protein-rich foods. In conclusion, let's once again list the products that should be limited or completely excluded from the diet of a dialysis patient: nuts, dried fruits, bananas, apricots, mushrooms, greens, fruit juices, condensed milk, legumes, potatoes, coffee, wine, cocoa, chocolate, cheese, cottage cheese, commercially produced sausages, carbonated drinks, and dairy products.